A very warm welcome to all of you. We are thrilled to have you join today's fortnightly workshop on the topic Let's See World Around Us Through Science. Welcome to an exciting journey where we'll explore the wonders of the world through the lens of science. Science is not just about textbooks and experiments in lab. It's everywhere. From the way birds fly to how plants grow, from the colors in a rainbow to the gadgets we use every day. Science help us to understand the magic behind it all. I'm Shambhavi, your moderator for today, and I couldn't be more excited to embark on this learning journey with all of you. Let's make the session interactive, insightful, and enriching. Anyone, for anyone new to our platform, let me introduce you to CAMP. CAMP is the Knowledge and Awareness Mapping Platform, which is an initiative of CSIR NISPER dedicated to bridging the gap between the educational and real life application. Our mission is to cultivate a scientific mindset among students while nurturing their hidden talents. Before starting, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Poonam Arora, who is Senior Principal, Scientist and Head, IST Division at CSIR NPL, National Physical Laboratory. She is also the Secretary of Indian Women Scientist Association, Delhi branch. Ma'am, welcome. We
Thank
welcome
you. Thank you, Shambhavi. So it's my pleasure to welcome you all the participants. Thanks a lot to CAMP platform as well as CSI NISPER for having this lecture on your online platform and giving us this platform for reaching out to a large number of students. So today's lecture is about science, about creating science awareness among students. And of course, the parents and teachers of the students are also welcome. So from classes 3rd to 8th, this will be appealing to all and answering to your many curiosities regarding life and science and how they are related to each other. So it's my pleasure to tell you a little bit about Indian Women Scientists Association, which we represent, both I and today's speaker, Mrs. Savita Makkar. We are members of Indian Women Scientists Association. We are associated to the Delhi branch. So this association is an old association, more than 50 years old. It was established in 1973, and it is an all India welfare voluntary, non-profit, secular, non-political charitable organization having headquarters in Navi Mumbai and 11 branches already in Roorkee, Hyderabad, Pune, Kolhapur, Nagpur, Delhi, Kalpakkam, Vadodara, Amravati, Bangalore, and Nellore. And it has more than 2,000 life members, and its membership is open to all women with background in science and technology. And the objectives are to take science to masses, develop scientific temperament in the society, promote scientific accomplishments among women scientists, understand problems of women in science, provide solutions, encourage women empowerment, and be a representative body of women in science and technology. And nevertheless, all things apart, the main motto is to take science to society. And children are the first torch bearers if you want to start any good initiative, and this has been proven with time. And IFSA conducts various programs, so you can log on to ifsa.net for further information about this organization. Now it's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Mrs. Savita Makkar. Ma'am is an accomplished educationist, and she is member of IFSA, as well as she is founder of Social Education Research Foundation. She has degree in BSc she's a gold medalist, and then MSc MPhil in chemistry. She has been a university topper, so you all can take a lot of inspiration from the accomplished speaker. And she has various other degrees also from US. She is an experienced professional in the field of education for 20 years. And this foundation that she is founded, Social Education Research Foundation, is based in Panchkula, Haryana. And this foundation is working on innovating and implementing various pedagogies and alternative learning methods. As you all know, with the new education policy, the thrust is on experiential learning. So you all are going to enjoy this lecture. She's also State President Education Policy Council member of WICCI of Union Territory of Chandigarh. She's a governing body member of ASHI Haryana. And of course, Yeah, she is member of the Indian Women Scientists Association, and which we are very proud of. So today's lecture, she will answer your curiosities, and we are very much looking forward to this lecture. I'm sure all the children are geared up for the same. So wish you all a pleasant learning experience today. Thank you so much for joining in. Over to you, Savita ma'am. We are looking forward to your lecture. Thank you. And thank you, Shambhavi.
Thank you, Dr. Arora, to say nice words and introducing me to all the participants who are here. So we will go through today's session, keeping the observations through the lens of science. As you have already told about me, so I won't take much time on that, and I would like to start with the session. I want to share my screen here. Can you see my screen here?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Let just a moment. Is it?
Yes,
Can
ma'am. Now it is
Not
visible.
yet? Yeah.
you can see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So as the topic, we know that we have taken Let's See World Around Us Through Science. So good afternoon to all once again, and thank you for joining to explore the world around us through the lens of science. Now, from the moment we wake up to the sound of alarm clock, to the moment we drift off to sleep in the night, we find science all around us. It's in the way the sunlight streams through our windows, in the way our bodies heal from injuries, in the way our smartphones get connected to the world. And right now, I'm connected to you guys to communicate, and share my thought process. It's not moving the slide. Okay, I have taken these 3 slides to tell about IFSA, which Dr. Arora has already told, so I'm going to skip it. Same about the Social Foundation, which is again a non-profit foundation. Let's come back to the today's topic, right? Now, as I told that science is all around us, observing, asking, and finding answers about the world around us is at the heart of the science. So today, for today's session, I have taken some observations, and why I want you all to explore with me through those observations through this lens of science. So just see this. I'm just going to show a small video clipping. I hope you all can see what is there in the video clipping. I'll show it again. So after watching this, what comes to my mind, that is why light flicker, why this light is flickering. I hope everybody could see the flickering of light. Why the light is flickering in the previous video, the question came to my mind when I saw this, that is the bulb is faulty? Is the fluctuation is there in the voltage, or there is no proper electricity, the flow of the proper electricity, or my house circuit that is whole house circuit that is overloaded? So these questions came to my mind. Then what do I do to fix it? Should I change the bulb? That thought came to me. Or should I go and check the main switchboard, switch it on and off to whether it resolves the problem or not? So these questions and these thoughts, they came to me. And then I thought maybe if it is not possible, then I should call an electrician. So how science helps it? That science helps us to understand, to solve the problem, and to take the decision. Now, flickering is just you can see that it is a change in the brightness of intensity of the light source itself. And flickering is annoying to our eyes. You said your eyes feel tired. So we shouldn't read in the flickering light. So we should fix it. But then I just came to my mind that is the flickering is only because of the fault in the light source, or we can observe it somewhere else also. Then I realized the flicker which we find flicker we can see, or we can perceive in the naturally modulated light sources like candlelight, the dancing candlelight, the shimmering water like sunlit water surface, or when we drive along a row of trees, the sunlight coming through those trees is also a kind of flicker, or a dappled light that filters through trees in a jungle. Even in the forest, the sunlight reaches inside through the leaves to facilitate photosynthesis. So all it reminded me that flicker, which I could see in the lampshade. Now the scientists, they have leveraged this flickering for using as a blink, you can say modulated, or you can say the intentional variation in the intensity. Say you can say the signal lights, automobile indicators, and then visual craft. And to grab the attention, they have used this flicker, they have used this flickering and changed it to intentional variation in the light so that we can grab the attention of the people. So in that way, it has become a tool for communication and for attention grabbing. So that's how these questions, when they come to our mind, all these questions, after observing around us, after observing the world around us, it has a one common thread, that is science. What I find is that is science. So science is basically observing, asking questions, finding the answers about the world around us, collecting the information, evidences, and it helps to solve problems and innovate tools and techniques to make the human life better. Let's see the next observation. I just clicked a picture on one bright day, and what I found, that is the sky is bright. The question which comes to mind when we look at the sun, I hope you all must have questioned this, that why is sky blue? Why is sky blue? That answer for this question, that it puzzled the human minds for a long time, but then answered that scientists, they discovered that there are different colors in sunlight. So when and our atmosphere has many gases, molecules, and particles. So this light gets scattered. The blue light which has shorter wavelength, smaller wavelength, it gets scattered to the maximum, and most of the time we find the sky is blue. But the same phenomenon, this phenomenon which is Rayleigh scattering, explained it. You can see here the picture, that what we mean to say is scattering of the light. And this scattering is responsible for the blue color of the sky. Now, the same scattering can explain us that why sky color keeps changing especially during sunset and sunrise. Sunset and sunrise doesn't mean that sun goes somewhere or comes. As you know, that earth rotates around the sun. So the part of the earth which is tilted toward the sun experiences daylight, and which is away from the sun is night. So during the change, then the sunset and sunrise, now the scattering of the light, the pattern of the scattering of the light changes. Now, more of the, in simple ways, you can say that the blue light is scattered to the extent that it is broken, and the red and the orange wavelengths can reach to our eyes during this time. So this is how we get a kaleidoscopic color on the sun, on the sky. The sun colors are there. Now, this type of colors, that is the delight for the painter's eyes. You know, the painters, they paint the canvas, show different colors. They can paint nicely. They get the inspiration from the colors which they find in the sky. So there is another stunning phenomenon which all you must have seen, that is rainbow. A rainbow, when we get the arc of the color, when the sun shines through the rain, the water droplets. So during this phenomenon, what happens? The light, it bends when it passes through the water droplet and splits into its colors. As I have shown you that colors are there in the sunlight. You scientists, they have discovered that light is made up of different colors and different 7 colors. Now, this is how white light, when it enters from one medium to the another medium, like the prism, which is a glass made up of glass, the water droplets act like prism, and it splits the lights into 7 colors. It bends again, and we can see a rainbow, an arc of these colors. Now, depending upon, as I shown in the last that we are talking about this color, we find that this is called as a visible spectrum of the sunlight, which can be seen by the human eyes. And whenever we say waves, all waves, which we have seen, the blue, red, yellow, we are saying the blue waves are shorter wavelengths, so they are scattered more during the daytime and the sky is blue. But during the sunset and sunrise, we can see even the red and orange light also. Now, all these waves, they are defined in this way, as you can see, and they have wavelengths. Basically, this approximate values are written for all the colors wavelength. Wavelength is basically the distance between two crests and two troughs. So that decides the value of that distance decides the color of the light of the sun. So it's very fascinating to think and see the colors around us, which is the result of different wavelengths of light that are absorbed, refracted, dispersed, and transmitted by the object around us. Now, when we are discussing about the light waves and colors, another daily observation, which we generally we see at traffic lights, the three colors are taken. Now, have you ever asked or this question to yourself that why the colors red, orange, and green are specifically taken for traffic lights? Let's see it. Red is the longest wavelength, so it's most visible from the distance and even in the bad weather. And it is associated with a signal of danger, so a stop is indicated by this. The orange, which is a middle wavelength, it's not as attention grabbing as red, but it is more noticeable, and it is used for preparing, like you can prepare yourself to start. And then the green, that is the shortest wavelength, scattered more, and it's calming to eye, and it signifies the safety. So it gives a signal to go. Now, this hierarchical order of the lights, it's very easily, it's based on the physics of light and human perceptions. And this combination is understood easily by the eyes from the distance also. So this is all related to the light of the color, these observations I have taken, and I just wanted to share with you that how around us we can see the fascinating facts of the light and the objects around us. Let's go to the next observation, which generally I will be taking now 2-3 observations in our own kitchen also. Like when we take out the ice cubes from the fridge, they melt, right? So the question comes, why ice melts? To understand the why ice melts, we should understand that, that there will be a temperature difference when the ice cubes comes out from the fridge. There is temperature is high, it's warmer than the freezer. So ice particles, they start changing to liquid form. To understand that, let's go to the structure, the molecular structure of water. When you see ice, then the molecular structure of the water is this. When it is solid, it is tightly and more closely packed as compared to liquid, as compared to the vapor state. Now, the way the molecules are arranged and interact with each other, it tells about the state of the substance. So ice melting, when we put into our drink, it starts melting, or when we keep the ice tray outside, it is just because of the molecular arrangement, their interaction with we have a hydrogen bonding in between the molecules of water. When it is in the solid state, it starts changing, it starts breaking and changes to the another state. So in around us, we find these physical states in the physical world. These physical states are there, right? Like here we can see in this picture that water vaporizes, changes to clouds. Clouds condense back in the rain, it comes back. And similarly, here it is melting of the ice to the water, or freezing back when it is kept in the fridge. Similarly, the room freshener sublimes, the naphthalene balls is sublimes. So there are many examples in the physical world where we can see the states of matter easily, and all these physical phenomena happening around us. Now, related to the states of matter is the another term which comes up, that is the density, which is related to the states of matter. That is, gas, liquid, and solid. Density keeps on increasing from gas to liquid to solid, depending upon their molecular arrangement. Now, within the same solid state also, there can be density difference. That is, like you can see in this picture, cork, solid, lighter than wood. Wood is going slightly inside, and then metal is going further inside. So that indicates the change in the density, although their physical state is same. Now to illustrate this, let's do a little experiment here. I have taken oil, honey, and water. It's the same physical state, but 3 different liquids. So in the first video, what I'll just, let's take water in it, in a beaker, right? Then add honey to the beaker. You can easily see that honey is not getting mixed, but it is settling down. And then on top of that, add some oil. I've taken mustard oil here. So you can see that I just take it back and then do it. That bubble, it's bubbling up and getting settling down on the surface. So what actually we observe? That you can see the 3 layers of liquids. They are not mixed. Honey is settled down, then water, and then oil, because it indicates the density of the honey is more than water, is more than oil. So this is how we can do small, we can see this observation through the molecular structure of these liquids. Within the same physical state also, there can be difference in the molecular arrangements and between the intermolecular forces. I'll take another observation, which we'll explore here. Why turmeric tea changes color? You know, I like to make the turmeric tea with ginger, especially in the winter season, as it boosts our immune system. It is good for our immune system. So what I did, I just show you here. In this, you can see when I have taken haldi, like turmeric, this is the color came to the tea. But the moment I added and I boil it with the ginger, that is basic in nature, the color changes. I hope you can see the color change. I'll show you once again. This color change happened when I boiled this with the help of ginger, because ginger is basic. Now, if I add lemon to the tea, then what is happening? Can you see the change in the color? I'll do it again. This, by pouring lemon, there is a change in the color. So it is turning back to yellow because lemon is acidic in nature. So turmeric tea changes color because turmeric is acting as an indicator here, because its color changes in acidic as well as in the basic medium. In the basic medium, it was reddish brown. In the acidic medium, it remains yellow. Now, scientists have given us a scale to measure the acidic or basic nature of the substances. You can see this pH, we call it as pH scale, which is used to differentiate between acidic and basic. These numbers, like taking water as the neutral and going from blue to purple color, basic character is increasing, and here acidic character is increasing. And in this picture, you have seen some foods are also, you can see the food and their acidic and basic character. Now, this characterization of matter on the basis of acidic behavior or on the basis of pH, we can look at the different kinds of food around us. Some of them, they are acidifying. You can see from the picture, like sugars, meat, fish, grain products, they all are acidifying food. And on the right hand side, there's alkalizing food, which are basically, they both alkaline and acidic, they should be there in the balanced diet. So with the help of these parameters, one of the parameters, we can take an informed choice, we can do informed choice and maintain a balanced diet to have a good health. We know what are the benefits of balanced diet. So that's why I have just picked up these 2 slides to just connected with the acidic and basic character of the substances. Now, these foods, they whatever are available in different weathers, we should consume those type of foods which are available in the in a particular weather. So this got me thinking that let's talk about weather, not specific in terms of the food, but how to predict the weather, how we can predict the weather around, which keeps changing. Like now it is changing from winter to spring, and every year we find that weather change. How we predict weather? So I just collected some of the information about this, which I found that may be interesting for you. Like by making simple observations, like cricket sound, it is from the National Geographic. I found these facts. I thought I would share with you that by counting these numbers of the cricket chirp, we can estimate, or we can just predict the weather. And it is as it's there, that if you count the 14 seconds and add to that number the total number in Fahrenheit, that can be converted into Celsius. Basically, this is the importance of the observation. We can observe and make, we can further do the investigations on that. Such type of facts are there available. I just want to share with you. If you find a lot of spider webs inside your house, it means cold weather is approaching, because they prefer to stay indoor. Pine cones, like in the dry weather, they open their scales when it becomes extremely dry. They do this to scatter their seeds. When the air is moist, they close up to keep their seeds, so indicate the weather condition. Now, this is another observation, that up to 12 hours before thunderstorm, black flies and mosquitoes, they start swarming. And about an hour, the storm, they disappear, because they don't want to they don't want to get wet. So they disappear. So that is another indicator of the rainy season, thunderstorms. Now, similarly, the thundering and lightning, by dividing number of seconds between lightning and thunder by 5, can learn how far away is the lightning has hit. So this is just the observation made, and then it is noted down, and it is useful observation. Now, the climate prediction is not as simple. It's a complex process where meteorologists, they take the help of, they collect quantitative data related to atmosphere, land, ocean, and then they predict the weather at a given time, at a given place, what will be going to be the weather. So when we check it, like these, I've taken the pictures, like how these meteorologists, they have discovered the tools and technologies uh, uh, to provide this information about the weather, like what is the air quality, what is the minimum temperature, what is maximum temperature, what is the wind speed, and coming 10 days, what is going to be the weather in the coming days. So this is the use of the predicting weather with the technology helps us to find out. Now, on everyday basis, many people use weather forecast to determine what to wear, not on a given day. Since outdoor activities are severely curtailed by the heavy rain, so forecasts, they help to plan the activities and the events. Now, when we talk about the rainy weather, what comes to our mind? Umbrella. We need umbrella in when there is a rain around us. So if you look at the umbrella, how much technology is gone in making a small umbrella. Like material scientists, they have given the idea, like how and what material should be used to make the umbrella, so that it should not rust. It should, and the chemists, they have, or chemical engineers, they have decided the material of the umbrella, so that what we'll say, it will help us, and should be waterproof, and it helps to save us from wetting from the rain. Physicists and engineers, they have designed the shape of the umbrella, optimizing it, and it provide maximum protection so that it provide maximum protection from the rain. So there's a lot of science we can see umbrella through. Chemists, physicists, engineers, all are involved in designing and making it useful for us. Now, what happens if our umbrella has a hole or it is spoiled? Should we use a piece of cloth to stitch and protect it from the rain? The cloth will be wet with the water. So then what should we do? We should take a polythene sheet. How we should do it? By fixing it with adhesive, which is a chemical which will keep it on the umbrella for a longer time. Or if it is too windy, maybe this umbrella is not going to work for me, and so we can have another umbrella. So these observations, they help us to take the decisions. The prediction of the weather is not restricted only to the umbrella, but it is with the tools and technologies, it helps us to figure out about the earthquakes, about the tsunamis. So it helps the humankind in a broader way. Now, okay, when it comes to the thunderstorm, then another thought comes to my mind, that why during thunderstorm and all, my dog, he or she is scared of the thunderstorms because of the hearing sensitivity. Now, dogs can detect softer sounds at high frequency than human. They can hear sounds from over half a mile as compared to human being. So what happens during the thunderstorm? They or even when the crackers and very loud sounds, the dogs they cannot tolerate, and they, because they have their system where they can what will say, their auditory system, which allows them to pinpoint the source of the sound more easily than human, and this can make them feel more vulnerable and anxious, and that's why they are scared of that. Now when we talk about this, so it means we should be more empathetic to that in around our surroundings, we should take care of the what will say, frequency and the loudness of the sound, and take care of and make them comfortable. Now, when we say sound, sound is basically what? Sound is a type of an energy made by vibration. When an object, when we speak, basically, then what happens? Sound is just type of energy that produces vibration. When we speak, our vocal cords vibrate, creating acoustic waves that travel through the air. When these acoustic waves reach our ears, we receive and perceive them as sound, but only to a certain range of frequencies. So this is different from the animals and from the dogs. Now, after observing all this, how do think like a scientist? All of us, all children, they can think like a scientist. Like scientific thinking skills, basically they are observation, asking questions, finding answers, making predictions, investigation, documenting information, and communicating thoughts, like collaborating with each other. That's how the scientists they do. So as children, what we can do, we should observe our surroundings nicely, ask questions, try to find the answers, and then investigate, and then write down what you have observed and what concept of science is related to that, how we can see that particular observation through science. Now, when we say investigation, then there are two types of investigations: observational investigation and experimental investigation. Observational investigation is when we use our five senses to study something closely, which creates curiosity. And this we can do whenever we are, wherever we are. We can make observations, note down those observations, and try to find out if any question arises in our mind, try to answer those questions. And experimental investigation, scientific investigations that use experiment to answer the questions, which you can do like we have done in our kitchen, the small experiments we can do to understand the concepts with the help of your mama, or you can in the lab you can do experiments with the help of your teacher and with your seniors. So when we are doing the experiments, there I would like to just talk about the difference between opinion and fact. Now, when we are doing the observations, they should not be opinions, they should be fact. What does it mean? For example, if we are watching this picture of butterfly, it's a beautiful picture, but there is another beautiful picture, and then more. So some will say, I like blue butterflies. Some will find that the butterfly with the different colored combination is looking beautiful, and some will say the brown one is orange one is fine. That is opinion. Well, like when you look at when you do some observation, how you like it or you don't like it is the opinion. But what is the fact? That every butterfly has two wings, every wing has forewing and hindwing. Every butterfly's antenna, it has head, thorax, and abdomen. That is the fact. So while observing the world around us, when thinking like a scientist, we should observe the surroundings, but not the opinions. We should try to figure out the facts, what is there, and then document those facts. Then that makes you like scientist. And we can keep exploring around the world around us, and we'll figure out many more such observations like we have done today are about light, about the color which are there, their wavelengths, and then the states of matter, and how one state of the matter changes to another state of matter. What are the parameters, what are the terms which are associated with these observations? How we can think like scientists, we can keep exploring the world around us, because science is like a magic, but actually it is real. We can work with the science, never finishes. It's evolving. Every day, the new technologies, the advancement in the technology is happening to make human life more and more comfortable. So just keep observing and keep noting down your observations. This will this will create a beautiful world around us. So thank you very much for joining me. You can ask anything if anybody wants to know about whatever observations we have discussed today.
Students, the floor is open for questions. So if you have any doubts, so what you can do is you can turn on your videos. You can virtually raise your hands, and one by one, we'll connect you to ma'am directly. Riansh, you can ask your question.
Mom,
Yes.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mom, I had a doubt, Mom, that you said about if you can add honey in the water,
Yeah.
about density, no, Mom. Mom, is it work upon other liquids like water, honey, hand soap, everything, Mom?
Yeah, you see, this is basically all the substances. They have a different molecular arrangement and different force of interaction between them. So wherever there will be change, those solutions, when they are mixed together, they will separate out. They will not mix unless the force between the molecules are broken by the by addition of the another liquid.
Yes, Mom. Thank you, Mom.
Next question, Shiva. You may please ask your question. Maybe there is some network problem.
Okay.
Students, if you have any question, you can virtually raise your hands and then you can ask the question. Akhilesh.
Ma'am, are there any other forms like liquid, solid, and gas? Except that, is there any other forms?
These are the main three physical states, but there are other states also, which we generally don't talk in the basic, what to say, states of matter.
Okay, ma'am.
Miss, thank you for giving me an opportunity, Miss. I have a doubt that are there more examples of prism like water droplets?
Examples of?
Pushpendra,
Example of
can you
prism.
please be a little loud? We're not able to hear you.
Miss, are there more examples like a prism? Miss, are there more examples of prisms?
Ma'am, I think so. He's asking, is there any more examples of prism?
Like rain droplets, ma'am, you said. So he's asking similar examples in nature which act like a prism, just like rain droplets do.
Ma'am, can you hear us?
I can't hear you.
Savita ma'am, can you hear us? Can you hear me?
It's a broken voice. Okay, just a minute. I'll just try. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Pushpendu, can you ask your question one more time?
Yes, Miss. Miss, I was asking that are there more examples of prism like water droplets you said? Miss?
Savita ma'am, can you open the chat box? I have written a question in the chat box, which Pushpendu was asking. There seems to be some network issue at Savita ma'am's end.
Yes.
All the kids, please hold your questions. I think she'll join back. Hello? Ma'am, you're muted. Savita ma'am?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Ma'am, I've written one question in the chat box. If you
It
can
is
please open the chat box. This was one question which one of the kids, Pushpendu, was asking.
okay. This one, there are more examples of prism like water droplets.
Yes, this was his question.
This was his
Okay.
question.
So, Pushpinder, some of the salt crystals, honeycombs, quartz, they are example. There also we can see that same phenomenon.
Next question, Sundar. You may please ask your question.
Ma'am, you said the color changes to blue, red, and orange. Why doesn't the color turn to green and all? Why are they
Okay.
only changing to blue and red?
Okay, blue color, blue, the scattering of the blue light, that's the shortest wave light of we'll say the wavelength of the light, and it's scattered to the maximum. So we can see that color, blue color, because that is the maximum scattered light in the sky. That's why it is blue.
Rajveer, you wanted to ask a question, if I'm not wrong. Sarvesh, you may please ask your question.
Ma'am, ma'am, the butterfly, you sure no, ma'am, that is blue color. The butterfly is not, it can be in red or orange, green, like that, no, ma'am.
Yes, it can be. It can be in many colors.
Next question, Ayan, you may please unmute yourself and you can ask your question.
Thank you, ma'am. Like water, droplets can go through mostly any type of surface. So how do they stay in the clouds?
How do they?
How do they stay in the clouds? Like,
Ayan, can you please be a little louder?
ma'am,
The water can go through almost any type of surface. So why can't the water go through the clouds?
Ma'am, can you hear us? Savita ma'am, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, Ayan, can you please ask your question once again?
Ma'am, the water droplets can go through almost any type of surface. So why can't they go to the clouds? And it is almost like a will that they have to go to the clouds at this time.
No, I'm not getting your question, Ayan.
Ma'am, shall I send it in the chat?
Okay.
Next question, Shiva, you may please ask your question. Shiva, you're not audible. Can you please be a little louder? Shiva, I think so your mic is not working. You can put your question in the chat box and I'll convey the same to ma'am. Next up question, Dushyant. Please ask your question. Dushyant, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yes.
Ma'am, one second. Hmm.
Manasvi, you have raised your hand. You may please ask your question. Manasvi, I'm so sorry, you're not audible. I think so your mic is not working because we are not able to hear anything at all. You can just type your question in the chat box. Yes, Rajveer, you can please unmute yourself.
Ma'am, what all 4 types of butterflies there? Ma'am showed that I forget it.
Ma'am, are you there?
Head,
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, Rajveer, please ask your question once again.
eyes are all around us.
Rajveer, can you please ask your question once again?
Ma'am, can you show that butterflies, 4 types of butterflies things? I forget. I forget it. Can you show it 1 second? Or
Butterflies.
I cannot understand what the ma'am is telling.
Here. In this case,
But I cannot see. Ma'am, I cannot see what all things are.
can you see it?
Ma'am, I cannot see my eyes is not visible. What all things are there? Head, antelope, head, antenna, thorax, head and antenna, thorax, hind wing, forewing, abdomen, head, antenna, thorax, and wing for.
Dushyant, are you ready for your question? Can you may ask a question now? Rukmini, you may ask your question. Rukmini, are you there?
Ma'am, can you tell me the concept of refraction? Means there are rainbows, there are actually 7 colors, but you only taught us about like up to blue only. There are also like violet, indigo, green, like that, right, ma'am? So can you tell me each 7 colors properties, like means the wavelength, like it's slower or it's like bigger? It's the wave movement. Ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
are you asking about this refraction, the bending of the light?
Yes. So you only taught us about like up to blue only. So may I get to know like all the colors, 7 colors, like thinner, larger, like that means the
Yeah,
thickness.
it's just these colors, they have the wavelengths. We measure them in wavelengths like frequency and wavelength, right? So you can see here in the visible spectrum you have all the colors.
Yes. So what
With
are the numbers on the colors and all?
these numbers, they are the wavelengths. Means this distance of a basically from one crest to another crest, or distance from one trough to another trough, this much. Like if you look at this, you can see here this blue color, it's a shorter wavelength. As you go up, they are the longer wavelengths. Can you see the difference in these? Blue,
Yes,
green,
ma'am.
yellow. So they are measured in terms of wavelengths, right?
Yes.
And we have all
Yes.
these wavelengths in the visible spectrum. That means which is visible to human eye.
Okay. So, ma'am, if an experiment in shows like this, a disc which contains all the 7 colors of the rainbow, if spin together, they will become the color white. So, the white is the original color of light. So, it's known as the Newton's disc.
No, the white light, when it passes, like it changes its speed changes from one medium to the another medium. Like in a prism, it enters from air to glass, then it bends and then split into those colors, split into different wavelengths, not colors. Basically, these wavelengths represent different colors, and then they again bend, and we can see through the prism, we can see the 7 colors.
Yes. It's because I have read in my textbook, like there was written, means the Newton's disc, which actually contains all the 7 colors. If spin together, we get the original color of the light, which is white.
Yeah,
So
Newton
because
disk.
like
Yeah.
there's also one conclusion also written there, like our eye cannot separate all the colors and thus becomes white,
Yes,
like that.
like that. That's true.
Ma'am, can we take one more question?
Okay.
Shivam Agarwal, you may ask your question.
Mom, I have also added my question in the chat if you can't hear me, Mom. Mom, I have a question that which liquid is the most viscous, Mom? Mom?
Savita, ma'am?
Anji?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am Shivam is asking which liquid is the most viscous.
Mm, we I'm not very sure, but it may be some related to that asphalt or tar, you know.
Yeah, mom. Okay, mom. Thank you, mom.
Students, if you have any more questions, so what you can do is you can send in your question on the email ID, which I have mentioned in the chat box. So you can all send in your question here and we'll forward the same to Savita ma'am, and then whatever the response or the answers will be, we'll be forwarding it to you back. You may please note down this email ID so you can ask your questions directly to us through email. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such an enlightening and inspiring session. Your insights have truly made a lasting impact, providing our students a very different perspective altogether.
Thank you, Shambhavi.
मैम राकेश जी,
One,
दीपिका मैम को कह रहे थे कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट है यहाँ पे।
Once again, thank you so much for all the enthusiastic participation. A big thanks to Mrs. Savita Makkar ma'am and also Dr. Poonam Arora ma'am for sharing your wisdom and experience with us today. To all the participants, for any further support, feel free to reach out via our website, helpline, or social media. Before we conclude, we request you to take a moment to fill out a quick survey form. Your feedback helps us to improve and serve you better. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of today's fortnightly workshop. Stay tuned for our next exciting camp session. Until then, keep exploring, learning, and applying these strategies in your life. Have a fantastic day, everyone. We'll see you in the next session.